Imagine standing next to someone, watching the exact same event unfold right in front of you. But when you turn to talk about it, it's as if they watched something completely different. One person walks away feeling inspired. They saw an act of courage and a clear step toward inclusion. The person right next to them feels a knot in their stomach. They process that exact same event as reckless, unfair, and a threat to their values. We see this collision of realities every day. It happens during workplace meetings, across family dinner tables, and within polarized political debates. Both people walk away certain that their view is the objective truth. Neither realizes they aren't actually seeing the raw event. They are looking at it through a customized filter. When faced with conflicting versions of reality, the human brain relies on a reflex. We immediately put on a judge's robe and try to determine who is right and who is wrong. But asking who is right rarely leads to an answer that resolves the tension. It usually creates a psychological dead end. This graphic from the 6 stages framework illustrates what happens next. If we decide our perspective is the correct one, we instinctively categorize the other person as ignorant or malicious. We retreat into a space built on assumption and blame. This defensive posture triggers a biological threat response. Our nervous system prioritizes self-protection over analysis, closing the door on our capacity to understand. Our instinct for certainty becomes the primary barrier keeping us locked in conflict. The 6 stages framework approaches human behavior through a different premise. None of us experiences the world exactly as it is. We interpret it through a psychological lens. Imagine driving a new car. The windscreen is perfectly clean. You hardly even notice the glass because you are looking straight through it, focusing only on the road ahead. But as you drive for weeks, experiences accumulate quietly. A frustrating conversation, a repetitive news headline, a minor disappointment. Like dust and road spray, these events slowly settle on the glass. Then there are the larger impacts. A significant trauma or a major life disruption hits the glass all at once, leaving a dense, opaque mark that severely blocks a specific part of your view. Because these changes happen gradually over years, we stop noticing them. We forget the glass is even there, and we mistake our clouded lens for an accurate picture of the world. This invisible buildup acts as a strict cognitive filter. It dictates exactly which pieces of information we notice and which facts we instinctively tune out. It influences our empathy, deciding who we identify with and who we feel justified in dismissing. The 2 observers heard earlier weren't witnessing different physical events. They were filtering the same situation through decades of different cultural, emotional, and social residue. This lens defines the boundaries of our world, setting the limit on what we consider possible. The goal of the 6 stages framework isn't to somehow scrub your lens perfectly clean. Accumulating lived experience is an inescapable part of being human. We all have residue. The objective is to occasionally shift your focus away from the world outside and look directly at the mechanism of your own perception, to look at the glass rather than through it. Instead of asking who is right, the framework invites a different question. What lens are they looking through? Doing a lens check requires examining your own biases. It means identifying the fears and the assumptions that have settled over your perspective and become comfortable. That process forces you to drop certainty in favor of curiosity, and curiosity is the mechanical requirement for any real dialogue to occur. When we replace the pursuit of being right with the act of asking a question, we create a cognitive pause. That moment of inquiry acts as a circuit breaker for our defensive reflexes, moving us away from a perceived threat and toward an opportunity. As shown on this side of the framework's visual model, this shift fosters a new orientation. Dialogue, curiosity, and a sense of belonging become the primary modes of interaction. This process doesn't guarantee that 2 people will suddenly agree, but it does build the essential empathy required to coexist in a complex, subjective world. Before attempting to change the world, we must first understand the lens through which we see it. This is how understanding begins.